It's Monday, June 11th, and you're listening to The Geek at Geek News Central show number 772, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Save 25% on a one-year fourth-generation hosting account by using the promo code NAB. New customers save 25% on your entire order by using $1.99 Geek. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Hey, folks, you know what's next? Strap in. Here it comes.
People, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right. I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5. Button, who's got the button? 4.
There's no cause for alarm.
3.
Everybody hold on to something.
2.
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and man, I'm going to tell you, it is absolutely fantastic to be back at home, sleeping in my own bed, eating my own food, drinking out of my own tap. It's just been absolutely insane. Do you know that I have nearly went over 100,000 frequent flyer miles already this year? It's simply crazy. I'm going to tell you, but I'm glad to be back here in the studio. I want to give a warm welcome to the Ohana, all the listeners and viewers of the show. Thanks for being here. Of course, we want to give you a chance to get over to geeknewscentral.com and check out all the great content over there. You know, it's real easy to get connected up with the show. All you got to do is go over to the website. You'll find a column there, second column of the website to subscribe to the show, iTunes, Zune Marketplace, and so forth. And, of course, you can get signed up for the newsletter as well, so that will get you connected to the show, and we'll send you the show notes immediately following the show. Of course, you can reach me real easily by, emailing me or reaching on Twitter at Geek News. Of course, you can email me at geeknews@gmail.com, or you can contact us via our hotline, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which has been kind of getting cold. We haven't gotten too many people calling on the hotline recently at +1 619 342 7365. Well, I tell you, it's I'm feeling a lot better than I was when I was basically did the last show. I'll be honest with you. I was fighting pure and utter exhaustion. I mean, it had just been nonstop for like 10 days, and I was just quite ready to fall out. And doing the show in that tiny, small hotel room sucked. It really did. Just had no room to move hardly at all. I mean, it was like a postage size, stamp sized room. Forgot to hit record on the video on the last show. I mean, it was just like, I got done. I'm like, oh my God, that was like horrible. And so I just basically said, okay, rack that one up in the books as probably one I shouldn't have done, and just call it a night. And off I loaded, got in an airplane, and came back to Honolulu. So anyway, I'm back here, kind of recharged. The Honolulu weather's fantastic. Being able to spend time with the family, doing a little honey-do list, it's good. And I'm pretty much back on track from a time zone standpoint. There for a few days, I didn't know if I was coming or going, but it's good. But I tell you what, these shows and everything that we do and everything I'm doing would not be possible without our sponsors. Of course, I want to take just a second here and recognize one of our longtime sponsors of the show, GoDaddy.com, for being a long sponsor here. We've got a special offer in the month of June where you can get $1.99 per month economy hosting for 3 months by using the promo code 199geek. And this economy hosting is normally like between $4.24 to $5.09. So you're going to get it for $1.99 by using that code 199geek. Sign up for the 3-month plan, and then when you get ready to renew for 12 months, You can do so by using the code NAB. That'll save you 25% off on your order. Of course, we got lots of great codes for you to use back at geeknewscentral.com. All you got to do really is go to the geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You're going to find all the promo codes there. We're going to be able to save 15% on any order, $20 or more, by using the promo code Geek5. Todd20 will save you 20% as well on 1 year shared hosting accounts. Todd will save you 10%. ComSale will get you $7.99.coms. ComSale 3 will get $8.49.com renewals. Of course, Central's been a popular one, and Aloha, $20 off on any order, 75 or more. And of course, Geek SSL 12 will get you $12.99 SSL certificates. But thanks, GoDaddy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a sponsor. Thanks for taking care of us and taking care of all of you that are, basically out there supporting the show. And I tell you, it's fantastic to be back home. And whew, where do we start? Let me start by telling you what's going on here in the studio. This remodeling that it was supposed to start like a month and a half ago hasn't yet. Basically, I got to get into Home Depot. I got to order the new cabinets are going to go in back there. So that's on my number one to-do list. I did get, what we're doing is we're upgrading the TriCaster. The new model went from 850 to the 855. So we're upgrading from the 850 to 855. And I know what's going on here. I keep hearing something in the background. And I know exactly what's going on. I was wondering where that was coming from. And I don't know if you guys were hearing that or not. But you won't hear it now. I had a speaker turned up. I kept saying, the kid's got the TV on or something. I don't know. But anyway, so the TriCaster upgrade, basically, NewTek has this great trade-in program where you still have to pay some extra money, but you get the brand new computer, you get the brand new software, you get all the bells and whistles of the new system. So this really is going to up the game another step. I don't even use a tenth of the stuff that this box offers. I was trying to do some green screen stuff in here on Sunday, and really what I need to do is I need to move this whole desk about a foot farther that way, get lower on the monitor, do some changes here so that we can get tight in to do the green screen stuff. And so that's, kind of be a work in progress. We're going to be trying to do some more of that here in the near future. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at in the studio. So we'll be shaking down the 855 tomorrow. And matter of fact, it's sitting on the floor right behind me. I was chomping at the bit, but I missed it on UPS coming in on Friday from when I got home. Other than that, everything's good. Hey, the Chrome Show, there's a new episode up on that. And just, I know you guys just fell over, so definitely check out the Chrome Show. Of course, Robot Underpants, the Gadget Professor, they all been putting out their stuff. We'll have a Saturday morning tech finally this coming Saturday. We'll get those two monitors cranked up and have a couple of guests in here. Hope you like my Live from the Barn episode. That's kind of a weird one to do, but I had fun doing that. If you haven't checked that video out, it's up. And one of my highlights of being in New York with family and friends was the B&H visit. And going into that store was pretty cool. Came out with a couple of items, nothing big. Didn't hurt the credit card too bad, but a great place to go and basically hands-on on all this pro electronics. It was a lot of fun. So I guess finally here, what I do want to do is I want to take just a minute and let me see if I can find the right logo here. And we're actually getting a new logo from our folks at GoToMeeting. So we're going to have a new lower third here. But what I really want to talk about here is, the summer's coming, and it's for many of it's already here. And many of us will be spending more time working from home or basically on the road traveling. So getting everyone together for a meeting is really going to be an impossible task. And here's the important part. You don't have to worry about that if you have GoToMeeting with HD Faces by Citrix. GoToMeeting lets you host meetings with clients and colleagues face-to-face, all while online, no matter where they are, or for that matter, where you are. And with HD Faces, you just need a webcam to turn your online meeting into a group HD video conference. Attendees can join from any computer, iPad, iPhone, Android device by basically downloading the free app. And I've told you guys how I've used the iPhone app, basically sitting in my car, camera running, got the AC on, having a go-to-meeting session. Someone else is driving the session, going through and doing, a conference call and so forth. And it just works super fantastic. Have never done with my iPhone, but I've done one with my iPad a number of times. And then people actually jump on. Had a gal jump on a meeting the other day. She was at the pool, and then she was kind of laughing. She was showing us all the swimming pool and saying, I'm enjoying here, and basically na 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 na. So we had a lot of fun with that meeting. But as a listener of the show, you can try GoToMeeting with HD Faces free for 30 days. You can visit gotomeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code podcast. Now, we're just going to show you here real quick. All you got to do is go over to gotomeeting.com, click on the orange Try It Free button. It's going to load up a page there. You're going to put your name, your email address, and the promo code. So they got a little question mark there for promo code. Make sure you click on that. It gives you a little box, and just type in their podcast, and that'll get you that free 30-day trial. Then, of course, go and download the app. Now here's the best part, okay? Got a contest. Okay, GoToMeeting is giving away 8 brand new iPads on Facebook. So all you have to do is visit Facebook and like the GoToMeeting page. Then you're really entered to win a new iPad, and you can refer a friend. So if they win an iPad, you do so as well. So tell your friends or family members or your kids to go over there and like the page. And if they win, you win 2 iPads, which would be awesome. So check it out. Like GoToMeeting on Facebook, and you can end up using it on a new iPad. Hope you win, and don't forget to try the GoToMeeting free today. All right, thanks for GoToMeeting for being a sponsor here, and definitely check them out. Okay, let's go ahead and what have I got in my rack and stack here tonight? Talked about that, and talked about this. Oh, I got this new green screen. It finally arrived. Matter of fact, it got here a few days before I got back from my travel, and I was got it all set up. It's going to work for the portable studio. Everything's good. And I said, this thing looks a little taller than what the measurements say online. I went to the online site and measured it, and I said, yeah, it's right. And then I measured the bag, and it's like 4 inches bigger. And oh no, what's going on? So I went to my suitcase I normally travel with, and it wouldn't even fit in the suitcase. It's only about this big around from a size standpoint. So I'm like, what am I going to do? It's got little backpack straps so you can actually carry it through the airport. So I really got to figure out how to do a green screen from a hotel room and make it viable to use and not, have to have an extra suitcase to carry this thing. Maybe I'll just have to carry it on the airplane. I'd hate to do that. We'll figure it out, but I'm just afraid of putting it in the suitcase the way it is without being in the bag, because I'm sure it's going to get, crunched, and then it won't work at all. But this green screen would be perfect to use, but it's too big for a suitcase. I'm just like, man, I'm just batting 1,000 on this type of stuff. But that's sometimes what happens when you're online and looking for things. But it'll work for some other things we're going to be doing here as well. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and get into the tech. I know you guys have been waiting for that. Got a lot of stuff to talk about on the tech side of the show here tonight. And hey, I just want to say thanks for being patient with me over the last couple of weeks. It's been, I guess for a better word, just simply nuts. And I'm glad to be back in Honolulu and be back on track. And I think I'm going to be here for a couple of weeks. I don't think I've got any quote unquote, at least travel scheduled until maybe the end of the month. My wife's mother's coming. She's going to be staying for 2 months. So that should prove to be, as always, very interesting. But we'll talk about that more when that happens. But she's coming from Japan, and this is her first trip after she lost her husband. So I look forward to having her here, and I am sure that the kids are going to love it too. But yep, she's going to be here for 2 months, so quite a long stay. All right, and my mom's getting ready for my sister to come from Virginia, and her kids moving. So there's pure madhouse in Michigan, and they're just about ready on some portions of the house. But we can talk about that as we go through. All right, I just want to talk about something here today. I wrote, when I got to San Francisco, matter of fact, I almost missed boarding on my airplane flight to Honolulu. I wrote a story. Let's take that down. I wrote a story here that basically, I really have got some issues right now with Microsoft. And let me load this at the right page up for you. And what it really boils down to, and I think one of our writers at Geek News Central, they gave a great try, but really talking with some of my contacts, and some Rob is on the show from time to time, and Rob's putting on a good face, and Rob's doing everything he can to show me that Microsoft is caring about new media, but it's very obvious to me that Microsoft really, truly, honestly does not care about supporting podcasting. They just don't. And the tens of thousands of podcasters that are reaching the tens of millions of listeners and viewers each month are essentially just being swept aside. In the past week, we've really been pulling some incredible stats from our stats system over at Raw Voice. And, when iTunes still controls 45% of the total market share when it comes to how you guys are connecting, and the iPhone is right there like 20%, and the iPad is like 10, and the first Microsoft product we see is just the browser. People coming to the websites with a browser. Then it's followed by Chrome, Firefox, Android. Zune Marketplace is like 8th on the list. And we're getting down into less than 1 or 2% of the total listening audience are using Zune Marketplace. And you got Windows Media Player. And basically what that is that's the people that have Windows Media Player as their default player on their webpage. So when you click on something to play, that's what it uses. That basically is what plays the media. And then you got Apple TV. Now, this is an audio and video combined metric. So, there's going to be some skewing in numbers based on audio and video. But, we've got another part of this graph, and it basically shows that, even though iTunes and Zune, have dropped off from near 100% in 2007 to, probably a little bit less than 50 in 2012, we see a huge increase in desktop web browsers and mobile web browsers and tablets and mobile applications. But, we've got the majority of the populace. And let's just, let's be honest with this. And we'll talk about WWDC here in a few minutes. But let's be honest. The large majority of people in the world are on the Windows platform. Now, Apple's making inroads, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, and a huge number of people having Xboxes. So basically what we do know is this. On Windows 7 and on the current version of Windows Phone, podcasting will continue to be supported, and you'll be able to use the Zune Marketplace and so forth. But as soon as Windows 8 comes out and the Xbox, there probably is not going to be any direct podcasting support. I have to come from a third party. Maybe you guys don't care. Maybe you're just using iTunes. But it just bothers me that they continue to ignore, because it's an added value product. Sure, they're not going to be, maybe they don't. Everything that goes into Xbox has to return dollars and cents. That's what it boils down to. There has to be an advertising play. There has to be some sort of pay-per-view. There has to be either, pay-to-play type of stuff going on. And obviously, Microsoft doesn't see that with new media. But those of you that are using your Xboxes, it's the number 2 video on demand and video purchasing system on the market today. So, maybe this is the second time I've talked about this here in recent shows, but it really bothers me. If you're a blogger, start writing questions. Why? Why isn't podcasting on the Xbox? Well, ask why. Ask why podcasting is not going to be in Windows 8. Ask that question, and tweet about it. Say why. Why isn't it? Because they don't care, obviously, about those of you that are listening to this type of content, and we want them to. So get out there and beat the bushes, okay? I appreciate it. All right, let me go ahead and switch gears here. I was really psyched today, hoping that during the WWDC Apple keynote that they would announce the API for Apple TV. And, I truly believe, as many others do, that the Apple TV ultimately will kill cable. And it will give TV a new life and a new form. Now, some of you are going to say, Todd, that's going pretty deep. But, Apple likes to blow up categories that are stuck. And nothing is more stuck than our televisions, right? They did it with a PC. They did it with laptops. They did it with printers, MP3 players, smartphones, music distribution, you name it. But TV displays are stuck in the past. TVs haven't really advanced in years. And, we see where Apple's going. You look at the iPad resolution, 2048 by 1536. And we'll talk about the new resolutions of the new Retina display on the new MacBook Pros here in a few minutes. But Cablite satellite over-the-air channels are still stuck at 6 megahertz of bandwidth. And they can't get any bigger without changing. And, Sony, Vizio, Samsung, Panasonic really have made operating a system, they think, willfully complicated with weird remote controls, Doesn't have to be that complicated, right? So today I was fully expecting that we would see this boom, this announcement. And no Apple TV announcement at WWDC. And, maybe at some point later in the year, they'll have an event just for the Apple TV by itself. But maybe what it is, too, is maybe it just hasn't gotten to be a big enough class of users that are using this device. So I would recommend go out and buy an Apple TV, spend that $99 and go out and get one. Help Apple say there is a clientele out there for this device. I've told you guys I'd be the first to get in line to buy an Apple TV if they release one. And we'll see. But if this comes to fruition, but at this point, it hasn't. I was really disappointed. I was just hoping. So instead, what they did today is they just punched me in the chin this afternoon when they axed the 17-inch MacBook Pros. And okay, some people say that thing's too doggone big. Why would you want a 17-inch MacBook Pro? And I've got one right here. And I edit video on this thing and I love it. I love the big size. And, I guess, some guys are saying, well, you don't need that big of a screen. You travel as much as I do. I just love the big screen and they've axed it. They've gotten rid of it. I travel with a 17-inch PC and a 17-inch MacBook Pro. So obviously they've upped the resolution on the new 15-inch. But it just, I'm thinking to myself, do I go to the Apple store today and spend, $2,000 that I don't want to spend on another 17-inch to have a spare 17-inch? Now I've got two here, and one backup, one 2010 model, one 2011. So I need another MacBook Pro like I need a hole in my head, to be honest with you. And so do I just wait? Some people say, well, maybe they'll come back with it later. But they've dropped the 17-inch. Professionals, people that are doing video editing and so forth, are all just like flipping out. And I am as well. So, it goes to show you that you just can't trust Apple. You really can't when it comes to actually, having a product line that you can, trust from a long longevity standpoint. Now, the new MacBook Pro, the new 15-inch MacBook Pro, the biggest size you can get, if you max this thing out, check this out, $3,750 is $3,750 is the most expensive next-gen MacBook Pro. And what you're going to get with that is a 2.7 gigahertz Ivy Bridge CPU, $250 upgrade from a 2.6 gigahertz CPU. So you get one more gigahertz for $250. 16 gigs of RAM. That's a $200 upgrade from 8 gigabits. 768 gigabit SSD. That's a $500 upgrade from a 512 gig SSD. Now, it's worth noting that the max price is actually lower than both the max prices on the previous gen 15-inch and 17-inch MacBook Pro, which came in at $4,100. So $3,750, how many Windows PCs can you buy for $3,750? The MacBook Air, on the other hand, same price, $999. And what do you get with the update? Well, you get the same exact processor. No, excuse me. You get a Ivy Bridge, Core i5 or a Core i7. You get the Intel HD Graphics 4000 versus 3000. You get 4 to 8 gigs of RAM versus 2 to 8. And then, of course, the hard drive size, same. So you get USB 3.0 and a Thunderbolt and a MagSafe 2 and $999 for the 11-inch, $1199 for the 13-inch. So not too much change in price there. You get a little better machine. And then, of course, if you look at the comparisons between the 15-inch and the 17-inch, the 15-inch straight MacBook Pro and the one with the Retina display, this is where it gets nuts. The 15-inch has a 1440 by 900 is the max screen resolution. If you go to the Retina display, 2880 by 1800. But the difference in price, the base price difference is $400 more for the Retina display, $2199 for 2.3 gigahertz i7 with a 256 gig SSD. Now, if you want to go to 2.6 gig with the 512 gig SSD, $2799. Add Apple Care into that, that's $300. That's a $3,000 bill plus tax. Not inexpensive. So the 2011 model was basically the same price point as the 2012 model. There's no anti-glare on the Retina display, which that sucks. And then, basically they break down the price and the weight and so forth. But the Retina display is only 4.46 pounds compared to 5.6 on the regular display. So, they've made some updates here. Huge money. You definitely pay for Mac inside. Now, they make the money on the hardware. They don't have to make the money on the software because OS 10 Mountain Lion is going to be available next month. Upgrades $20. So, that's essentially a free upgrade. Mac Pro, lineup has just been basically updated with a faster processor. And that's about it. You can get a 3.2 gig quad-core Xeon for $24.99. It comes paired with 6 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte hard drive and a pair of 2.46 core processors on the higher end with 12 gigs of RAM for $37.99. So, there's some options there, but all it really did is they upped the processor speed. They didn't change anything else. So, it makes you wonder where that line's going. So to kind of sum this up and not spend too much time of the show tonight on WWDC, FaceTime is going to be available, and as it goes cellular, you can use your cell signal to do FaceTime discussions. Be careful on how much you're going to be speaking there. Siri is going to be coming to the iPad on iOS 6. So when that update happens, it'll do. Obviously, the Google Maps stuff has been updated. You're going to have cool navigation apps. So with the Google Maps update being powered by TomTom, as soon as the navigation, all those other navigation apps, they're just done. No one's going to need one anymore. So those $80 navigation apps have basically been destroyed. Instapaper and those type of apps are probably going to be affected as well because Apple's introducing some new reader functionality in Safari. Ultrabooks, with the Retina display is probably going to be hurt. So they're probably a year behind now on this new rollout. And if those of you that have a couple of extra power supplies with your current Macs, your MagSafe power cables, you're going to have a $10 adapter. And why did they do that? Why did they change the power cord? I'm thinking to myself, why? Oh, it's a little bit sleeker. Someone's decision there. And so, it's going to cost you an extra $10 because, I have all, 2 Macs here that are basically using the same power cord, and if I upgrade sometime, what am I going to end up? I'm going to have to, switch out. It's going to suck. It really is. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of what happened to WWDC. iOS 6 will come later this year. and new MacBook and MacBook Pros and a Mac Pro update. Nothing, of course, on the iPhone, nothing on Apple TV, and a number of other things that we're kind of expecting that did not materialize. So we'll see. So how many of you out there, I want to hear from you, geeknews@gmail.com. When you hear these prices and you hear these new specs, how many of you just about fall out of your chair thinking about having to spend that kind of money for an upgrade? Number two, how many of you upset that Apple TV announcement didn't come out? And are you ready for that to make the transition to be able to open up to be in the App Store? And how many of you are mad that the 17-inch MacBook Pros have been discontinued? Or do you think I'm crazy for carrying that huge laptop? I think if you were watching me on Twitter, I went off. I lost my mind for about 30 minutes and had a spaz attack and bashing Apple for a little while. So, it is what it is, but man, it just pisses me off something fierce. It really does. And, and if I want the bigger display, I got to spend $400 extra to get the higher resolution. What are we all going to be doing someday? You're going to have these beautiful high resolution screens, and we're all going to be squinting. Every one of us is going to need more powerful glasses to, I had a birthday, and, I'm a few years short of the big 50, but I'm thinking to myself, dude, I don't want to go to a smaller monitor now. That is not the goal. It is not the goal. I want to enjoy big screens, Kills me. It really is. All right, let's switch topics here. Let's talk about Windows for a little bit. Windows 8, some secrets for you here. This comes from within Windows. I shouldn't have mentioned that I got most of the all the data for what Apple announced at WWDC from Gizmodo, from Engadget, from GigaOM, for a variety of different sites. But this next one, I haven't covered this site, I don't think, before. It's withinwindows.com. And it's Windows 8 secrets, PC, and device requirements. They're talking about what's going to be required to be a certified Windows 8 machine. What appears that you're going to have backlight power optimization. So if obviously you're going to have a monitor that has its backlit. They want to be able to optimize the brightness of that backlight and lower it and raise it as power is required. They're saying that any laptop should not have a surface temperature of greater than 100 degrees Fahrenheit to keep from burning your lap. And that's part of the requirements to be a Windows 8 certified computer. You have to have a proper headphone jack in the actual PCs. That's something that's becoming harder to find. And you have to, there's a bunch of other stuff that they used to require, but at least that's 3 of the requirements that are required by Windows 8. Oh, and they're also saying that you have to have at least one USB 3.0 port to be a certified Windows 8 machine. So I think that's good. USB 3.0. Of course, the new MacBooks have all USB 3.0 ports, which is nice. It's going to make things faster. No more FireWire. All the stuff that you have invested, all those FireWire devices you have, kaput. Hasta la vista. They don't want you to use it no more. So if you have FireWire stuff that you rely on, Apple is basically flipping you the bird, saying we don't need you anymore. And here's the scary part. I've got, this is what is crazy is, my entire video flow chain here. And in order to send, and when I'm doing Skype calls back here on the back screen, and for those of you listening, there's 2 screens behind me and to the left that the people call in, and I can, bring them up and I can see them. And in order for them to see me, I have to feed video back through a video splitter. It goes into these digital audio A to D converters. And basically they're from Canopus, CANOUPS or something like that. I know the model number is like a ADVC 300. Yeah, getting super geeky here, but that converts the analog video to digital and sends it back to the Mac Minis sends it to them in FireWire. So if they had updated the Mac Minis, essentially, if I'd ever needed to replace one, I would have to go to, a different solution. I'd have to really take, those little ADVC 300 boxes are like $350 a piece. And, if they make the change and lock out Firewire, which they have, those things are just worthless at this point. So what Apple is doing with this change and taking Firewire off of the computers is they're trying to force them to Thunderbolt. They're pushing the manufacturer saying, na 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 na. No longer do we have a Firewire port on here. Na 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 na. If you want to talk to our machines, it's got to be Thunderbolt. Na 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 na. And doesn't that just burn your butt? I mean, to me, they're the ones that championed Firewire, right? They were the champions of Firewire, and now they've just completely thumbed their nose at it. I'm sorry. I went back to talking about Mac. Let's switch. Article over on torrentfreak.com. Student has been fined for running a movie and TV show subtitle download site. So we know that the hearing impaired simply don't understand many times language on foreign shows, or there's no closed caption. So this guy was running an online site and getting subtitles in the form of a small text file that could be downloaded and played alongside a corresponding video file using media players such as VLC. Now, in many cases, really all was in these files was words, text. But someone didn't like this. In April, basically this site was called norsub.com, put up a notice that said, we're going offline. We've been informed there's some copyright issues. And it turns out that the media companies went after this guy, this 25-year-old who was trying to make stuff for the vision or hearing impaired, and made him basically take the site down and take down the 6,000 subtitles he had available in a variety of different movies. He went to court, and the technology companies, the movie companies, wanted jail time, but the judge says, no. We're just going to fine you $2,500 for doing a nice deed, not making any money, and providing subtitles. Crazy. I had a file, or I had a piece of software that I legitimately paid for that I cannot find the digital download or the CD for the DVD. It's just gone. And one of the files got corrupted, and I need a single file. So, I did some, the first thing you do is you go online, you look around for some stuff, you do some Google searching, and, and apparently I'm not the only person that has lost this file because it was up on a torrent site. So I'll just go grab the file off a torrent site. Well, I went to the torrent site, and, it's basically some goofball site that wanted some money or something. So, forget it. Some scams going on here. So let me, look around some more. And I really couldn't find it. And I ended up emailing a buddy, and he sent me over the single file that was missing. I was able to put it in the computer and recover. But while I was looking around, I also happened upon Usenet. And I haven't been on Usenet for years. And I used to pay for a Usenet account. And I used to pay like $7 or $8 a month. And I was using a lot of the forums on Usenet. But of course, Usenet has also been known for a haven for software releases as well. So where people would go on and download software and hack software. And so I'm looking around, and, I just, most of these sites are still up there, pay sites that access Usenet. But I found a story related to Usenet today that is pretty cool. It's a anonymous Usenet downloading with a web browser, and this is unusual. It's called usenetstorm.com. So basically, what you're able to do, and they've got a tutorial here on Torrent Freak, is you just basically you'll need a suitable Usenet search engine, and they list a couple here, And you'll be able to load the Usenet directory and get into it and look at it. And this specific program is to download files. But don't forget, Usenet is just not about files. There's forums and stuff like that on there as well. But pretty cool that you can use a browser. And usually you have to use a mail program or something like that. So anyway, I have a link in the show notes for you to check this out. Now, one thing every time I come home from travel, I have to do is I have to make adjustments to the mirrors. My wife drives my car while I'm gone. My car's newer than hers, so of course while I'm gone, she puts miles on my vehicle. And so, a mirror's a mirror, right? And we all deal with them every day. We have to make minor adjustments so you get see people in our blind spot. But a mathematician has invented something pretty cool. He's been awarded a patent for a wide-angle mirror that eliminates blind spots without causing distortions. Now, this is pretty awesome. He's come up with a new mirror type that gives you this big, huge, wide view. And so he purportedly used a mathematical logarithm that precisely controls the angle of light bouncing off the curving mirror. And so it's pretty cool. And but he's holding this up. Once you see this image, you're going to say, man, I can't wait till that glass gets in my next vehicle. It's obviously not going to be there for a while, but it is very, very nice, whatever he's done here, how he's made it. One thing I've been dealing with, too, is let me show you guys these. And those of you who are listening, I'm holding up a pair of new glasses. And what they are new transition glasses. So instead of getting bifocals, I have far, near, and like up close. And you have to get in position right. You have to move your head a certain way. But one thing, and those of you that have transition glasses, I really want to hear from you because I cannot wear these using a flat screen computer. I can focus, but what happens is the actual flat screen TV as flat screen monitor looks concave. It looks like it's warped. And it just drives me insane. So I've had to go online. And in fact, I've got my my script here, my spectacle script, and I'm not like having super powerful glasses. I only need like on the nearsightedness, being able to read the computer screen and stuff. All I need is a 1.75 magnification. But on my driving glasses, he's got this, this script here. So, here I've got my spectacle script. And so I was upset that these things don't work good with using the computer. And I'm thinking, I got to go back to the shop and look at glasses. And I was, just frustrated. So I said, it's got to be able to buy glasses online cheaper. So I was just like, I Googled cheap glasses. And of course, they gave me 100 different sites to look at. Hey, if you don't have an eye care plan that helps pay for your glasses, do not. I'm here to tell you, do not ever. And if you can choose stuff online, this is a key. And you actually may go through 2 pairs of glasses to find the ones you want. But when I tell you how much these things cost, you're going to be shocked. Don't go to the eyeglass store. It's a scam, because I was online and I found reading glasses in this, this standard script. I ordered like 3 pairs of different kinds for like $8 each or $9 each. Then I ordered a couple of pairs of just driving glasses that were like $24 each. So all total, I got like 5 sets of glasses coming for, under like $75. Do you want to know how much I paid for these transition glasses? My prescription took care of a lot of it, but I think I ended up paying like $110 was my fare. And I think I saw the total bill was some insane number. Do not buy glasses in any store again. Go online. It's worth it if you buy a couple of pairs at the cheap price and you get them and you don't like them. So they'll suck. You throw them in the trash and, considering the price, and I don't say throw them in the trash, but, quite literally the price of glasses online is amazingly inexpensive. And it just takes like a week. So, I was like, I told my wife, "Come in here, look at this." She says, "That can't be right. That's got to be some sort of scam, because we've never bought glasses online." But just a little tip for you, okay? Um, So anyway, Spitball was saying in the actual chat room, says, I don't have that problem with transition glasses. With the progressive lenses, they ask me how far I look at a book, and instead I just tell them I work on a computer and give them the distance to the screen. And I do the same thing. My distance to the screen is the length of my hand, and I can touch my screen right here with my hand right now. And I tell them that was the length. But when I look through these things, Spitball, they drive me insane. It looks like the top of the monitor is like rolled off, and it looks like the monitor is just like kind of like curved with it, the deepest part being in. Either he didn't get them dialed in right, I don't know, but I can read a book. I can read my iPad with it when I'm down low, but straight ahead looking at a computer monitor just drives me nuts. All right, I'm being slow here. Life hacker, and this is so true, folks. This is something to write down here, and it's the 4 B's: brain, back, buns, and bites. Brain, invest in class experiences, books, and other things that will challenge your brain. Bites, you shouldn't be wasting time staring at hourglasses and beach balls. I like that one. Back, get a good bed, try yoga or some regular exercise. They'll keep your body in check. Having bought a new bed this spring, all the difference in the world. Buns, spend money on a good chair, and he recommends a specific chair called an Aeron chair. Now, I don't have an Aeron chair. People think I do, but I'll be honest with you, this chair was pretty expensive. I spend as much time in this chair as I do. It's worth every penny when you buy a good chair. Matter of fact, I've had this now for, I guess we'll have to go back and look in the archives, maybe 4 years or so. It's about time to change this chair. I'm starting to, get a little sag in it, but buy a good chair. It really will help you, and invest in your Okoli, as they say, as that are my little, or invest in your butt when you're sitting in a chair so much. All right, next article up. Hey, the International Space Station got this cool picture. This is over on Universe Today. Ever wonder what lightning looks like from space? Well, they were right on top of a storm, essentially looking straight down, and got this awesome picture. And you look at this, and you're like, that's lightning? So I added this to my background on my desktop, because I just think it's awesome. When you see it, kind of like, whoa, that's really cool. So this was over at universetoday.com, and basically it's just this huge disc of light in the middle of a cloud. It's a pretty amazing picture. All right, the Chinese are ready to do a mid-June launch into space, and there might be a lady on board. So the Shenzhou 9 spacecraft has been moved to the launch pad, and so anyway, they're saying that they are going to have their first launch, and they're on a mission to dock with the Taiyang-1 spacecraft, an experimental lab module designed to be a precursor to a future Chinese space station. So getting ready to punch one into outer space here. I've said this in the past, a good IT company needs a good hacker. But in a recent TED Talk, Roy Sutherland discusses the need for every company to have a staff member with the power to do big things, no budget, and be a hacker and try to break into one company's own systems. It's kind of hard to sell that, but with the way things are going these days, I think that's going to be a job title that is going to be well renowned. And I really think you have to hire someone that's got some skills, and I'm going to say that with the SKILLZ, some skills, in order to truly see if your network is really secure. A lot of IT managers or I don't necessarily know if they've got the talent to dig deep and try to hack a system. But I think it's important way things are going now with corporate espionage and everything else to really have someone on staff that knows how to dig around. Obviously, you got to have some explicit trust there, and I know that's a challenge for many companies, especially when the job is basically doing things you shouldn't do. But I think it's going to become a job requirement for many big companies. I just can't see it not being one. All right, the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory is going to be launching New Star tomorrow. It's going to be dropping from a plane. And so this is pretty cool. They're going to be launching an aircraft from the Quadrant Atoll. And they're going, it's on June 13th, excuse me. And at 8:30 a.m., they're going to drop this rocket, basically this observatory. And it's got about a 10-minute ride to outer space. So they're looking forward to a launch. And basically, this thing goes as high as it can. It drops the rocket, and the rocket launches for 4 or 5 seconds after the drop. And, basically, they don't have to use as much fuel on the rocket to get to outer space because they're already at a pretty high altitude. All right, in the Wall Street Journal, in the Digits Technology News and Insight section, some senators are questioning monitoring of calls and emails. And so basically, the law lets U.S. agencies monitor the communications of foreigners outside the United States, but two senators are questioning whether a loophole allows the storage and search of messages from Americans are picked up inadvertently while foreigners are being monitored. So, according to the intelligence community, the report said it takes steps to minimize data collected on Americans, but the senators are concerned that the administration hasn't been able to estimate how many people in the U.S. have had information reviewed under the program. So, but there's, I guess there was new vote in May that would extend the counterterrorism law, which in part of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And senators were the only lawmakers on the committee to vote against extension, that it go out to 2017. But there was some concern by these two guys, and it just makes you go, I wonder how that all works. But anyway, senators were questioning that and asking for some more details. I wonder if they'll ever get it. All right, the NASA saying that the new Curiosity rover landing target may save months for its travel to their prime destination. Basically, what they've done is they've fine-tuned a more precise landing area, and to feel that they're able to really get the rover in a lot closer to where their operating area is going to be, so that basically they are narrowing the target. And so we'll see. They're saying that they've improved landing precision, and so sometime in, I believe, August, they're going to try to hit a 12-mile by 4-mile area and drop the rover in. So we'll see where this goes, but very cool stuff. And time will tell if we make their target. There's how many of you go to major movie theaters and still are seeing films that are on film, actual AKA 35 millimeter film? Well, they say by 2015, film will no longer be being sent to movie theaters around the country, and by by the end of 2013 in the United States, and 2015 in the rest of the world, everything's going to be digital. So the death of traditional film outside of art house films and the occasional film student project is coming to an end, and film reels are more expensive than the digital storage. They degrade faster and physically much heavier to ship, so the digital is going to be the way to go. They're just going to ship hard drives. So I'm not surprised there at all. So what do you think about $422,000 to stream a movie? Well, from July 2009 to December 2010, a Minneapolis-based company called Streaming Flix allegedly hit on a huge profitable business model, slapping steep monthly fees for its online movie service. It billed 253,000 customers, a total of $9.7 million. And how many movies did Americans watch after spending that cash? Well, it averaged out to $422,000 per movie. So obviously, those 253,000 customers were not watching any movies. So it suggested that 99.99% of people paying for the fee weren't even using it. So check your bills. There's all kinds of little strange charges that crop up there from time to time. I had a run of that here with T-Mobile, and I was asked T-Mobile to have those types of services banned, blocked, and never to show up ever again on my phone bill, and that's been very, very effective. The United States government has argued that it shouldn't have to give Mega Upload users their legit files, and basically said that, hey, we really didn't seize these, so we don't have to give them back because we didn't seize them. They didn't, they only did sampling, and they didn't copy every server. And So basically the government says is, hey, we don't have to give back what we haven't seized. And so this guy's caught in a catch-22, the one that's brought a lawsuit forth to get his videos back. And so basically a guy that's got a business that does videos for baseball teams, school teams, that type of stuff. So they said, hey, the servers weren't really seized, and the government didn't forfeit. Government property was never actually forfeited. So, or excuse me, the property was never forfeited to the government. So this guy can't get no retribution either. So catch-22, the government's playing games here. This guy will never get his media back. I'm sure many of you heard about the Flame crypto attack. We've heard about things in the news. Congress asking for investigations into whoever basically released the story. And I hope they catch whoever they did this, and I hope they string them up. But they're saying that the Flame crypto attack may have needed $200,000 worth of computing power to do what it did. And so engineers are still deciphering this whole thing, and they're pretty amazed at what they're finding. So, but they feel that the computing power needed was pretty extensive to do the hack and institute the hack as well. All right, Google's released Metro-style Windows 8 browser. So they've shipped the first non-Microsoft browser for Windows 8 today. It's a test release, and it's noteworthy priced because it doesn't follow any of the Metro design conventions as IE does, but will Chrome fans really care? And I don't think they will. Looking at the preview, it looks just like like Chrome 8 does today. It doesn't have too many extra features per se, but I don't know what I'm thinking about this whole new Windows 8 motif. I don't know if I care for it very much. All right, over on GigaOM, Sprint has ceded its majority stake in WiMAX carrier Clearwire. So basically, they've gave up its voting majority on the Clearwire board last year, but now it's given up its majority ownership in the 4G provider as well. So this is interesting. Clearwire returned to the market for more funding in December. All existing shares were diluted. Sprint gave up the option to match any additional investments in order to maintain its same ownership position. It appears to have done so up to a point. When Clearwire raised $402 million from new investors, Sprint kicked in $331 million, but now they're not having direct control over the company. Sprint protects itself from Clearwire's creditors if the company were to default. So they've ceded its majority stake, which is smart on Sprint's part. All right, now, any of you ever cheat on a test when you were a kid, teenager, going to high school? Did you ever write some cliff notes on a little piece of paper and, it probably didn't do you no good? Well, a student was caught. Now listen to this and just follow through with me here. A student was caught, and this is an article over in Gizmodo, with a 35-foot-long cheat sheet. It was filled, get this, with 25,000 answers. A 35-foot-long cheat sheet with 25,000 answers. The high school student was cheating on a university entrance exam in Kazakhstan, was caught because he was rustling and fiddling with his clothes too much before the test started. Can you imagine? How do you do that? How do you use that? 35-foot, did he have some contraption on a reel that would roll this thing in and roll it out? Can you imagine? Was this guy insane? He wrote 25,000 questions down? If he wrote them, think of the days and months that took to create. Why didn't he just study it? I'm going to give the guy an A just for effort to put a 35-foot-long cheat sheet together. Oh, yeah. I got to go to 22 feet down. The lengths people will go. 25,000 questions. If he studied all of that, he'd probably been passed it just fine. All right, Domino's is offering discount for online and mobile app ordering. If you next time you order pizza, order it with your app. Something about ordering pizza with an app just doesn't seem right to me. I like to call the pizza place and say, you got my order right? I want those jalapenos on there. I want, I want the extra sauce, whatever you're ordering, you have to, put that in there. But so Domino claims that digital orders now account for 30% of the U.S. sales. And how much are they going to give you up? They're offering 50% discount on all orders placed either online or through their mobile app. So, wow, I guess this is a promotion. And wow, the app deal is available only through digital orders. And it's only effective now through Sunday, June 17th. And of course, in Hawaii, pizza's expensive. You don't get $5 pies or anything like that here. All right, last couple articles tonight. Let me go through here and see what I've got left. Why is that doing that? Oh, yeah, I already covered that. Oh, D-Link is out. It's Movie Night Plus. So if you have got a D-Link hockey puck, the Movie Night, basically it's a kind of a replica of the Apple TV or a Roku competitor. So basically, they've added a variety of apps, including Hulu Plus. The 1080p video pusher is nearly unmistakable for the original edition, and it's available for $80. So that's D-Link has got that available. I didn't even know about that device. Apple's rolled out a Thunderbolt to Ethernet adapter for $29. How about a Thunderbolt to Fire wire converter there, Apple? So for a whopping $29, you can plug your Ethernet into a Thunderbolt. What does that mean? Does that mean that the new MacBook Pros or the new Macs don't have a Ethernet port? You gotta be kidding me. If you're gonna have two Thunderbolt ports on the Macs, you gotta make them so you can use them instead of having to connect one to a wired connection. Oh my gosh, it just kills me. All right, well, that's it. It just goes to show you that we do not know best. The designers do, right? They're going to drive exactly things that we want. Everything's got to be Wi-Fi. Of course, we all know Wi-Fi is faster than wired connections, right? Being facetious here. So let me look here at what I've got in the email account tonight. Did I tell you guys that I want to thank you for being here and be part of the family? Did I tell you guys that earlier? All right, comments. Hey, I want to thank Walt, a fellow Michigander, for his thoughts. And he said, hey, Todd, I'm a long listener since early 2005, and it was fun to hear the contest winner was a Tom with a Comcast email, even if it wasn't me. Tom, you know what? I don't think the Tom Comcast winner has actually claimed his prize. That was a good wake-up call for me. I'll make sure we reach out to him. Got an email here from Ron. He said, hey, Todd, I use a program, Miro, to download and view your video podcast. I'm not sure if something is broken on my end, but there's been no show listed since show 769. It's set to pull feeds from. Yes, Ron, there was no, until I got some fat bandwidth, there was no 770. There is a 770 now. There is no 771 video. I never hit record, and there will be a 772 because I did hit record today. Thanks for that. I had to laugh here. Joe sent me an email. He said, hey, Todd, look what popped up when I visited CNET. And too bad I can't show this. Basically, it's a little pop-up that says, drop a little tech knowledge on the world. Todd Cochran uses CNET. And he's got my little Facebook picture on there. And he says, add CNET activity to Facebook timeline and raise the tech IQ of your friends and family. It's quick and easy, and you can decide what to share and what not to. Todd Cochran uses CNET. I don't use CNET on Facebook. They lied. I use CNET, but I don't use CNET on Facebook. So a little false advertising there. I got an email from my insurance agent saying thank you for her business. So that was nice of her. So anyway, that's it for email. Hey, as always, at Geek News on Twitter, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Our voicemail hotline's lonely. Call us and let us know what you think about the recent shows. Tell me what I can do better, what you hate, what you love. 619-342-7365. Call me with a tip. And hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for being patient with me over the past 10 days or so. I promise things will be back on schedule here. We're back doing things normal. I guess as normal as it can be, right? And of course, famous last words, because we're going to put the 855 in the video rack tomorrow. I'm going to have to shake down that box and make sure it's ready to go for the show. So the video portion of show number 773 should be maybe interesting. I hope it goes without issue. It shouldn't. But again, thanks for hanging out with me. It's been a lot of fun. And we'll be back with you on Thursday for a live show for Friday morning release. And of course, we'll have Saturday morning tech. Don't forget to check out the Chrome Show. There is a new edition that I put up there. We do want to thank our sponsors, GoDaddy.com. Promo code NAB199Geek will save you a lot of money this month. And of course, we want to thank GoToMeeting for being a longtime sponsor here. Get that free 30-day trial. GoToMeeting.com. Click the try it free button and use the promo code podcast. Everyone, we'll see you next time. Take care. And aloha.